Hi, my name's Jerry. If your paintings are lacking contrast, feeling a bit flat, or you're struggling to create atmosphere, you're in the right place. This lesson is designed to be simple, encouraging, and easy to follow. And if you'd like to paint along, the outline drawing for this project is available on my website, and the finished painting is available there too. This watercolour is built around a simple, strong composition. A quiet stretch of water leading the eye towards a distant house sitting softly in the landscape. The foreground reeds form a natural frame and add depth, while the large tree on the left acts as a visual anchor, balancing the open space on the right. The painting is really about atmosphere and contrast. There's warm autumn tones in the grasses and tree set against the cool, misty distance. Reflections in the water help connect the foreground to the middle distance, guiding the viewer gently through the scene. The small birds add a touch of life without distracting from the main shapes, and the soft sky keeps the focus on the land below. It's a peaceful rural moment captured with my loose brushwork and simple shapes, showing how much mood you can create with value changes and a clear, uncluttered design. So let's get started. Now, first off, I'm going to be doing the sky. This is a very watery wash with Payne's grey. A lot of water, so I've got enough to do the sky and to do the water as well. And then I'm also mixing a small puddle of raw sienna. That I'll be putting into the sky and the water after I put the Payne's grey on. I've not wet the paper first. I'm going straight on with the paint. When it dries, it'll be a stronger colour for not putting water on there, which I like. And straight across the paper with confident strokes, just leaving a line there where the horizon is. So I'm going over the distant trees and the house. And I'm moving into the foreground with this watery wash. Not too worried about covering everything there. It's all going to be gone over with other colours. Just leaving that central part. Just going to be the field. Now I'm going into the Payne's grey paint itself. I'm just touching the corners with very strong paint. This will dry a lot lighter, and you do have to be confident with your application in the first place, because it looks different when it dries to what it is now. If you put the paint on too weak, it'll be too wishy-washy when it dries, and you'll only get one go. So I'm putting the raw sienna in with the Payne's grey very quickly, leaving it. In fact, I'm tilting up the board just to let the colour run up a bit. Didn't want it to run down to the to that white part, untouched paper. Now I've let the paper dry, and I'm going to start putting the second wash As you can see, it has dried quite a bit lighter and blended in. Paint spray again. Still using that puddle of paint that was there. I'm just judging the value. What this lesson's about, getting those values right. I've overemphasized the darks in this, as you'll see as we go further in the painting. Using a small round brush. The paper I'm using is Saunders Waterford 140 pounds rough, and this is a quarter imperial sheet, which is about 60 by 20 inches. As I said at the start, you can find this outline drawing on my website for you to copy, and also you can connect to this video there as well. Just going over this distant tree. Now, all the information I'm going to be giving you in this video will be in the description below, as regards to paper, paint and brushes. Well, the round brushes in this I'm using, not particularly expensive ones, so it's just a synthetic, mostly synthetic round brushes. Now this is raw sienna again, a colour called Jaune Brilliant, which is raw sienna and white. I like it. I buy it ready mixed because I use it quite a lot. It's nice in nice to do fields and put it into skies. Now, as you can see, I'm working left to right across the paper. Going over once and not going back again. It'll make the finished wash look fresh and not overworked. And already you can see the difference in the values there with the with this raw sienna lighter colour and the grey in the distance, which is going to be even darker still when I put another wash on. Putting in some colour on these reeds. Pretty much painting everything with it. We'll be going over this again with darker colours. This will be my lighter colour. You can go over the lighter colours with dark, but not the opposite with watercolours. And on the left hand side, doing the same. Going over with this raw sienna mix. As you can see, I'm not using too many colours in this particular painting. Just putting this wash in and using my pencil drawing to help me. Didn't bring the reeds over far enough there, so not a problem. Just going to add to that. It's the second wash put on there. Just thinking about where I was going to go next with this. I'm going to start from the top and work down. I do have a tendency to put my hand on the paper, especially when I'm painting things like trees. So if I do the tree first, there's less chance of my hand touching something and smudging it with paint onto the paper. Now this is raw umber. Paints I normally use Winsor & Newton, though I do try others on occasions. Just put in the thicker branches. We'll be going over the tree 2 or 3 times. As you can see, this is quite a strong paint. But when it dries, it will not be dark enough for what I want. It's all about values, contrast, making your pictures really come to life, not look flat. Make those trees look really as though they're in the distance, even though they're just on a flat piece of paper. Now, with my style of painting, as you can see, I'm putting in the tops of the tree where there would be leaves and groups of leaves and things. Just putting some dots in. And the brush I'm using now is called a dagger brush, which is a brush that comes to quite a fine point. I've gone back into the Haynes grey mixture. Just going to do the hedges and things in the background there. And as you can see straight away, with this second wash going on, the trees in the background recede even further back. I think the name for it is aerial recession, where things fade as you go further in the distance. But there's more atmosphere between you and the you're looking at. Just putting in the cottage. Probably a bit too soon. Ideally, I'd have left that because the edge is going to merge a bit into the tree on the left hand side. But I just want to get going with this. Work from the back to the front. Thicker mixture. You can see that making the trees going further back. Using that same dagger brush, raw sienna, burnt sienna, raw umber. Adding to the foliage on the tree. And when you're painting these trees, just remember to leave lots of holes in them and paint them as a mass. Much more effective, much more realistic. Just dipping into each. Sometimes the raw sienna, burnt sienna, umber, and they're merging now with the still wet Payne's grey. Just being mindful of where I'm going with these groups of leaves, making sure that I don't cover these branches as well. Just adding to the realism by just putting a few groups of leaves on the outline of this tree. Very much a focal point of this painting. I was going to take you to the tree and then along across the field to the house in the distance. Quite slow going for me on this tree, but I do want it to look a certain way, which it's quite there's quite a lot of brush marks. I will be going over this again when it dries. And that watery Payne's grey mixture that was there from the original sky just dipped into that, putting some shadows across these fields. To the Jean Brilliant. Mix a little bit of raw sienna with that. As you can see, that's bringing those grasses and reeds forward now from the field at the back. Being warmer colours, it looks much further forward than the distant trees and house. You can see the 3D effect starting now. Just doing some downward strokes, leaving some marks there like the reeds, the light reeds against the dark background there, using the what's called the negative space. Gives you quite a thick mixture there of the paint of Sienna, bringing that even further forward. Now moving around the painting, putting some of this deeper colour into the tree at the back, making sure that I just go over the existing and don't keep filling in those holes that I've left in the tree. Just flicks with this paint. Just putting in these reeds. This is where you do your own thing with these particular marks. We're all different when we do them. And now to a much darker shade of paint, adding raw umber. Just a little bit of colour called neutral tint. It's quite dark colour. Just let that dry. Going back again. I'm always mindful when I'm doing these foreground grasses and things like that. There's a lot of different colours, and I'll let things dry to actually let them dry sometimes, because tendency to smudge things with my hand. That's why it's easy to do areas like this, paintings like this, with the paper on a board, on an easel, standing and working. But obviously I find it better for doing this filming to have it slightly angled on a board. I've got a slight angle to it. It's not flat. Sitting at a desk. Just putting some of my marks in there. Pretty much using the same colours again. Raw sienna, burnt sienna, raw umber, neutral tint. And now putting in these bits of weed and things like that on the in the water. Start to bring that to life. Using my pencil drawing as a guide. So again, I'd let that dry. Just put a bit of water on that house at the back there. Where I went in too fast, it's just kind of merged a bit into that tree. So I've just put a bit of water on there and a tissue. Got rid of some paint. Let that dry. I want that to look just a bit more solid, that cottage in the distance, which will bring it further forward than the trees behind. This is a larger round brush that I'm using. It's an Escoda, size 10. All the brushes that I use are synthetic. I don't tend to use sable brushes these days. I find for my style of painting, they're good to use. A bit more eco-friendly too, and they keep a good point, and they're cheaper. Just going into some of that mixture at the top there to darken that tree. So quite a bit of the trees had 3 washes. Keep it nice and dark, and merging in the darks and the lights with this tree. Just kind of dabbing at the sides of this tree with the point of the brush. Paint similar, best to practice beforehand. Do a few practice trees. Just practice those marks. It's just something that when you've been painting for a while, you kind of develop your own way of holding the brush and your own kind of style. Now this is a rigger brush, which is a brush with not many bristles, but it comes with a very fine point and good for doing things like these birds and small marks. Try to keep working from the top down. Now I'm going to do this cottage again in the back, which was the original colour that I was using, Payne's Grey. Fairly strong. You can see the 3 values there in the distance. The trees really set back. The ones behind the cottage and the actual cottage itself, all done purely by using using more washes. You can't do it by using thicker paint. Rigger brush again, doing the fence. Keeps the eye in the painting. Always make sure to, if you're doing fences, to leave a gap. Give the eye a chance to enter, move into the painting. I tend to do my fences a bit scruffy, look like they're falling down. Just done a sweep with a dark colour here. That was neutral tint. Bring the reeds down into the water. Make sure that the reflections match what's up top. keep those tones and contrasts going. So in this particular painting, I've made my darks exceptionally dark to give you an idea of what you can achieve by going in with different values. Now you can make parts of the painting pop and come forward. Not everything be the same tone, flat, lifeless. Don't always try and paint the exact colour of what you see in front of you. Sometimes with nature it's just too difficult. There's too many colours. Sometimes it's nice just to experiment with your own preference for colours. Quite often if you get the tones right, it doesn't matter if it's the wrong colour. I'm doing some more of my artistic flicks here. You see the bands of colour here though, the very light raw sienna, the darker burnt sienna, and then the very dark colours, neutral tint, to raw umber. Pretty much the same colours throughout. Back to the rigger brush where I'm going to be doing these ducks. Using neutral tint. Colour I like to use quite a lot for doing my darks. See that bring that foreground to life just by putting in a few birds, all adding to the feeling of depth. Some dark. Just taking my time trying to make these accurate, or fairly accurate by my standards. A little bit loose. You like this bit where use a bit of flair and my artistic skill with these grasses. Just flicking the brush up. Let that dry again. Watery Payne's grey mixture. Going into the mixture at the top there. It's really just whatever colours on the palette there to start putting in some reflections. Water. All these puddles of paint are all the colours that are in the painting. So just using some of them. Look out of place. Don't have to be too fussy. to using a small round synthetic Nabriscoda. Don't overdo these lines. It's very easy to just need a few. Just looking around the painting and seeing what needs to be done. And this white gouache. Using this to bring some of these reeds to life a bit, light against dark. Easier to do it for me to do it this way than try and leave the white paper. Make it too fiddly for me in the first place. So just going around here with the white, just add a bit more contrast. Just catching the tops of these reeds, going into the darker areas. Will add to the effect. Just breaking up those areas a bit with the darks. Just working my way round. Just at those little slivers of light that you get looking at the water, breaking up those dark areas that just made it a bit more interesting. Just redoing some of what I've done, thinking that it's a bit too much, a bit dark paint. It's me going into the realms of fiddling now, I think, but I think it's necessary at this part of the painting. And a couple of little posts at the back there, some things in the field, be where you want it to be. Just had a little bit of interest. This is just regular masking tape onto a plywood board. Always put it on just before I paint, because leave it on too long it sticks. It's the finished piece. As you can see, the atmosphere is there, the contrast is there, and I hope this lesson was useful for you. See you again. Bye bye.